Hey everyone, Flying Dutchie here. Welcome to part 2 of my Victoria 3 tutorial for complete beginners. Hopefully you did not get overwhelmed by the last video. It was a lot of talking, but when we play the game things will click in, hopefully. I'm gonna do a couple more things before we unpause the game, which you can do by pressing the spacebar, by the way. We need to talk about more what we see here, because we didn't talk about it. You guys know already what this is. If we spend our influence to increase relations, this can go to 50 by the way, and then it won't have an effect anymore. And then we have to spend our influence on something else, or not. Sometimes you cannot spend it on anything useful. But we have these interest groups, and normally it's looking like this, I think, but you can click this button, and then you have them open. I always do that. Further, we have our army and our navy over here that we are not going to use at the start of the game, so just ignore it for now. And we have a political lobby we have to talk about. I will also talk more about our money. We didn't talk about money more in depth, so we're going to do that right now. And then we have to go a bit to more politics and do a law change. And then we unpause the game. So let's first talk about money. At the moment we have a balance of plus 1.3 thousand a week. We have talked about the investment pool. The people in our country that put money in the investment pool. Aristocrats, capitalists in manor houses and financial districts, also some shopkeepers and farmers put money in the investment pool. So that is just for them. But then we have our national revenue, that is our income at the moment. At the moment we have 7.4 thousand out of income taxes. That is a tax that is collected on the wages paid to the workforce. And that is why we need our peasants that are in the subsistence farms. We want them to become a worker, so that we can tax them off their wages into our coffers. So this number should increase over time. Then we have poll taxes. That is a flat tax collected on every working adult. Since poll taxes do not scale with the pop's income, it tends to impact the lower strata the most. Yeah, this is just a flat tax that everyone that works need to pay. So that's pretty mean, right? Then we have our consumption taxes. Now we know this. We have put consumption taxes on liquor and fish. At the start of the game we get a huge amount of money from this. But it could mean that when the fish price is now getting more expensive because of our consumption tax, that people are not going to buy fish anymore and buy other things for their basic food needs. These are the basic food needs they can have. They can also get more grain. And then our income taxes, our consumption tax will go down, because people will buy less fish, but let's see how that goes. Then we have government dividends. Do you remember from part 1 that our investment pool is trying to privatize the tooling workshop in Scania? At the moment we get the dividends of Scania. It should be listed over here. Government dividends. Okay, we don't make any money at the moment out of the tooling workshop, so apparently the tooling workshop is not profitable. It will be later on. But, okay. So we only get a little bit from some arms industries and some paper mills. But it's a very tiny amount. Then there are tariffs. These are from our trades that we are running. And then we have minting. The minting is based on technology. You can go, I think, to plus 30 or plus 40%. And it's based on your GDP. So the more you make in your country, the more you can mint. It's money that comes out of nowhere. And when you have gold mines, it's also listed over here. Now that is our income. And then we are expending it for the goods for government buildings. Remember, universities, the government buildings, we need to pay them. The goods. And we are spending a lot of paper and a little bit on clippers, because the ports and the universities and the government buildings are owned by us. So we have to pay for the paper that they need to use for the government buildings. And then we also need to pay the wages of the people that work in the government buildings. Everyone that works in the government administration, the port and the university and the construction sector, I forgot about that, that is also state owned. We pay as the state their wages. They are, how do you call it in English? I don't know, but they are working for the state. We also have goods for military buildings. The military buildings are I think also always owned by us or not. I think, yeah, they are. We need to spend this all the time. The naval bases and the barracks, and also the people who live there, so who work there, the officers and the servicemen, and the... Oh, they are both officers and servicemen? Yeah, barracks and naval bases have officers and servicemen, and we need to pay these people. And then we have temporary national expenses, 3.74 for construction goods, because we are building our construction sector. Okay, that is the money. The last thing we need to do is do a law change at the start of the game, so we'll click on this button again, politics. We have talked about institutions. We will unlock more institutions later in the game by changing our law. So we go over here. And here are all the law changes. I'm not going to talk about everything, because that is just way too much. But all these laws have a impact on how you can work with your country. For example, at the moment we are a monarchy. Our ruler rules the country. You can also become a republic later on. There are positives and there are negatives when you do this. It's almost always the case. We are an oligarchy. The head of state shares power and responsibility with a small group of powerful, unelected individuals. Our people have no rights. They have no voting rights, they have no strike rights, they have absolutely nothing. They need to work and they need to shut up at the moment. But we can also go to landed voting. With this, people who own land or capital property are giving a vote. Our capitalists and aristocrats will now all vote. Then you go to wealth voting. Then more people can vote that have a good amount of money. And then later on you have universal suffrage. Everyone can vote. And that changes the whole picture of your country. Now, I need to take a look at the law changes and I will pick one that is going to be helpful, so I'll be right back. Okay, before we're going to change a law, we need to go to our government and overview. So we are going to go over everything here. We have no other option. At the moment, our King Carl Johan Bernadotte, who is part of the landowners. Yes, our king and my heir are part of a group. My prince, Oscar, is part of the intelligentsia. We would love to be this character to be in power, because when you are a monarchy, you get extra legitimacy from your group that your king is part of. So our landowners, which we don't like, giving us more legitimacy. At the moment, we have a government of the church and the landowners, giving us 75 legitimacy. And you can see these bars, right? So we are now in this bar. We are between 75 and 90. And because we are having such a good legitimate government, we get more loyalists, so people become more happy. And we get no penalties. When we are at lower, the enactment time of laws goes down, and people that are in the opposition will become angry, and you get more radicals when your standard of living decreases. So you always want to be above 50%, because when you're above 50 you only get -1 opposition, and that is manageable. But as you can see, when you click on a reform government, we have a better option. We have an 88 legitimacy, but then we put the petite bourgeoisie in. So let's click this. And we're going to do this. We'll confirm this. So now our government is these three groups. And I wanted to put in the petite bourgeoisie, because all these groups have their own agendas, what they want. You can see it over here. The church wants to get religious schools and charity hospitals. They want a state religion. For example, if I go to the laws here, and I go to my church and state, we can go towards state religion. We now have freedom of conscience, which gives the church 15% extra clout and the other bonuses. We can go to state religion. This gives the church even more clout, which we don't want, because the church is backwards and they will always be backwards. We do get more authority though. And we have a 19% chance to succeed. Why is that? Well, the Church of Sweden likes to become the country a state religion. Now, when you hover over here, you can exactly see who is going to be in favor or against. So you can see that the Church of Sweden is liking this. The intelligentsia does not like this, and they will become radicalized. They will go to further than -9 or -10, and that will radicalize the intelligentsia, and they will become very angry. So we are not going to change towards the state religion, of course not. But we have, for example, no home affairs at the start of the game. So maybe we can do something there. We also have our local police force that makes the landowners more powerful. So when we click here, we can also go to a dedicated police force and not a local police force. The local police force is helping the landowners' political strength. And maybe you remember that we are increasing our institution right now to level 3, which will make the landowners 15%. But we can change the law over here towards dedicated police force. What is the difference between local? Well, first the landowners get more power with local. We get 15% state penalties, minus 15% state penalties from turmoil, which we don't have right now, but later in the game we will. We can also go here. This will remove the political power that the landowners get from the local police force. And we still get minus 10% penalties from turmoil, and we also get minus 5 radicals of standard of living decreases. That is a little bit better. So we could click this, and then we have a 19% chance to succeed. Why do we have this? Well, we have put the petite bourgeoisie in the government. When I do not have them in the government, I cannot even do this one, because none of the groups in the cabinet like the change. There are more people who like this, but they are not in the cabinet, so it doesn't count for the chance of progress. But it does make them happy. The intelligentsia will like this, the armed forces will like this, and the rural folk will like this. Now, guess who is not gonna like this? The landowners. So we have a 19% chance to success, we have a 17.8% chance to fail, and we have a couple of other chances. Now, I will click this because the landowners go from +7 to +2, so they are still positive. Even if they go to -6, I will do it, because then they will not be angry. They will not get angry, but they dislike it, and we will improve with a lot of other countries. So I will go to a dedicated police force, and then you have this screen here. So we already told that we had a 90.1% chance to succeed because of the petite bourgeoisie in the government. We have a 17.8% chance to stall because of the landowners. There's a 42.6% chance to have a debate with an event we can click. And we have a 20.3% chance to advance to the next state. So we have a very good chance to succeed. Why is my advance factor ×2? Don't know. But we have a good advance. I guess it's based on the difference or something. I don't know. I don't even know myself. So in every 100 days, there will be a checkpoint to see if the people in the cabinet can agree on changing this law in Sweden. This number, the 100 days, takes longer if you are not having a legitimate government, but we have a very legitimate government, so this will go very quickly. Let's see if we can do this. This will take the power away from the landowners. And yeah, here you can see the 3 states: introduction, consideration, assent, and then you get the law. You can also have some setbacks, but let's see how that goes when we play the game. Okay, we have done everything here. Also, your king is having sometimes an ideology that they want. There are 2 more things I want to talk about. The political lobby, which you also saw over here. We have a Swedish-Prussian fellowship. Apparently, my country and Sweden like each other. And you can click on it. There are 2 interest groups that are supporting this. The landowners and the armed forces. They like to increase the appeasement, and then they will become happier. So we can increase our relations, we can form a trade agreement, we already have that one. Alliance or defensive pact, we can get foreign investments, let's talk about that later. And they don't want to become a rival or embargo each other. At the moment they are at +2. Why is that? Can I see that somewhere? No? Really? Why can I not see why it is +2? Well, we have a trade agreement, so I guess that gives us +2. And that is just a static number of approval that go to these groups. This is random. When we have a rivalry with Prussia, we can even get a political lobby that is against Prussia. And some people join these, and then if you like someone, you want to increase your relations. If you dislike someone, you want to become their rival and dislike them and embargo them. And then the people will become happy who are in that group. So if we get good relations with Prussia, the people that are in this group, the lobby, will get more positive opinion. For example, the landowners are in here. They get +2, so when we hover over their approval, we can see that it's +5. Because we are a monarchy. The landowners like that. An oligarchy, they like that. They don't like propertied women. And they get +2 from the political lobby. So that makes them just a little bit happier, and that's it. That is what political lobbies are, and nothing else. So it's just a mechanic. Then we have agitators as well. Do we want to take a look at this? Maybe. I don't know. You can get agitators and they can start a political lobby in your country. So sometimes you get an agitator that you don't like. You want to try to exile these. Sometimes there are agitators that you really like. At the start you have Giuseppe Mazzini, for example. He is part of the intelligentsia. And he is a radical. He wants to change the country where he is into a republic. They want universal suffrage, protected speed and guaranteed liberties. I would love that actually. But I cannot invite him. Because North Italian is at the moment discriminated in Sweden. If you are from North Italy, you have no rights. So we cannot invite these people. You can click on show only available. Then you can see who you can maybe invite to your country. But at the moment there is no one. You can also filter by group. For example, you want an intelligentsia guy. Well, you can get this one, but they are not available. I always click everything on. Everything is on. And then show only available. They can also pop up automatically. And then you cannot do anything about it. I think we have talked about almost everything. And that we can start unpausing the game. At least for now. I think the time is there, guys. So what I do is press the minus key. Then in the top right you can see here, with the plus and minus key you can see the speed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go to speed 1 and press the space bar. And the game is running. So there are 4 seasons that give a tick. Now we are in the 2nd of January. Afternoon, evening, night. January 3, morning, afternoon, evening, night. Then when this bar is full, 1 week has passed. And what will happen in a weekly tick? In a weekly tick, we will start putting some construction in here. In a weekly tick, people can change their place where they work, the income goes, and other things. So let's see what happens here when we reach January 7th. So you can see we have now 0 construction. Boom. We are now in the 2nd week of this this month, and we see that we have a bar here. We have put 15 construction, or 17 actually. We have put 17 construction because of the construction efficiency, the 14.3% because of our edict here, the road maintenance. So in 5 weeks, this construction sector will be built. Now, let's go to speed 2. You can see the difference. It's still pretty slow, in my opinion. And over here you can get all kinds of messages that make people happy or not, or whatever they do. You can get bonuses and penalties from your interest groups, and when you have elections from your political parties. You see that we are having some research that are spreading in each category. In each category of the research, there will be something spreading. And you can see it over here. The general staff is spreading with a little bit. And in society, we have egalitarianism spreading. And over here, we see that mechanical tools is spreading, but we're also researching it ourselves. Okay. You can click this away by shift right-clicking this and put that out of the screen. Hey, what is this? A political lobby has formed. The Swedish Spanish Association has formed as the result of increasing ideological similarities with Spain. The new lobby is compromise of the Church of Sweden. The Church of Sweden has made a lobby that likes Spain. So what we can do now is increase our relations with Spain, try to get an alliance or defensive pact, get a trade agreement with them. And then this number will go not to 0, but maybe +1, +2, +3. And then the church will get a couple of approval. And that makes their approval higher. Now, you do remember, let's unpause it again, that we don't like the church, but it doesn't mean that we want to stay friends with them. Because if the church get angry, 20% of the cloud in the country is against you. What I try to do is keep them happy just enough before they radicalize. And that way, keep them in tow while I'm changing the country and get rid of them. Don't make them too angry, because then you get a revolution and you have to fight your way out. That can sometimes be very bad. Let's go to speed 3. Speed 3 and speed 4 are the speeds I play on the most. Speed 3 can sometimes be still very slow. Because the only thing we are doing now is our law change. You can see this clock here. And when this clock is full, we get an event and then we can have a chance to go to the next phase or get a setback or nothing. We can also get an increase of chance. And there we go. I will pause the video now. The game. Because we have built our construction sector. We now have 2 construction sectors in Svealand. People are getting hired. We have hired 1,000 last month, as you can see. And you can also see that our cloth penalty is now gone, because we are not using our construction sectors right now. We are not building anything. Now, I still think we want to build more construction sectors. I think we're going to go with at least 4. So we have 2 in Svealand. What I can do is go to 4 in this state, but I can also spread them a little bit out. There are a couple of buttons over here. When I click on these, a menu opens. Here you can see what you can build everywhere. We can build all these mines, we can build industry in the country. When we go to political, we can build government administrations, and we can also build construction sectors. Let's click this. Here you can see that we can build a construction sector everywhere. In Norrland, Svealand, Götaland there, and here. We can see how many people are looking for a job. You can sort this. You can see that in Scania, 101,000 people are looking for a new job. And you can see what the upkeep is going to be. At the moment, the upkeep in Svealand is very low. When I build this here, apparently the import goods of wood, iron, tools and fabric are cheaper over here than somewhere else. What I like to do is spread these things a little bit out, because a construction sector per state gives state construction efficiency, so you build a little bit quicker in the state where you have built this. And also the goods that you need are a huge amount. I think because the upkeep in Svealand is so low, because we have iron mines there. Let's take a look if we have iron mines in Svealand. Click this away. We click on the state, Svealand. We go to the buildings. By the way, click the view list. This is so much better. So don't use this, but use this, please. And there we go. We have 5 iron mines in Svealand. And it's very cheap. It is very cheap right now, because we are not building anything. So don't get fooled by this coin stack here. It's very small, as you can see. The price of iron is very cheap, 64% cheaper. And that is because we are not building anything. If I would build a construction sector right now, the iron price will go up. And this building will become more profitable. So where do you want to build your construction sectors? Well, you want to spread them a little bit out. There is a bonus of throughput, I think. Or not? Is there no throughput bonus? Well, there will be throughput bonus, I think, when everyone is hired. For example, in Svealand, we don't make any tools, but we are consuming it. We also have almost no cloth here, but we are using it already. If I would go to, for example, Scania, and I click on my construction sector, let's put it in, so now it's listed over here. No one is working here, so I can't change it, but we will have on the second production method. We already know that we need wood, iron, cloth, and tools for it, right? Yeah. Tools, cloth, wood, and iron. Do we have any of these over here? We have no wood here. We have no iron here. We do have tools here. And we have a little bit of cloth over here. So the import goods over here will be a little bit more expensive because we don't make local wood and local iron. Iron is not possible to make here. There is no iron mine possible. Now you can click on the stage and take a look at all their... For example, here in Götaland we have iron. And we have wood. And we have a little bit of cloth. But we have no tools. So maybe we should build a construction sector in Götaland. Because we have more of the import goods there. So let's cancel this one. And I'm gonna go to Götaland. And I'm gonna scroll down and build a construction sector over here. Because I think the import goods here are going to be cheaper. Let's unpause. And let's build another construction sector. Now, a couple of things are happening in the world. You have journal entries you can try to complete, but let's take a look at that later as well. Because otherwise it gets way too overwhelming. We have a new thing here. What is that? Yes, the fabric is expensive again. Because we are building a construction sector. Now you can see this number going up because we are hiring people. When this is fully hired with people working here, we go to 20. Because we get 5 more construction out of this. You can also see that my governmental expenses are increasing. Because we need to pay for all of this. Now luckily we have very cheap iron still. We also have very cheap wood. Our cloth price is a problem. And our tools are a little bit expensive. There we go. And that means that we are also building quicker now. This construction sector is getting built quicker because we are having more construction. I think when this one is built, I'm gonna build something else. Yeah. So we wait for this one to be built. Well, we can also put it already in the queue. Let's take a look at our investment pool. Okay, there's already 70,000 in the investment pool. Remember, we need 150,000. And then the people are going to privatize one of my buildings. They are at 46% because there are 70,000 available and they need 150,000. That money goes to me, so that will go to my gold reserve. So we could maybe even go a little bit more. Let's build another construction sector. I think we can really afford it. And otherwise we just pause for a bit. So we have 2 in Svealand, 1 in Götaland. I'm gonna build 1 in Scania. There we go. that we have at least some construction sectors in a couple of the states. It gives employment to the people, and you get a small bonus per level on the building speed over there. So let's go over it. Okay, that's going. What is this message? Oh yeah, the fabric message is still there. Oh, and my Swedish-Spanish association has disbanded because the conditions are no longer true. We are neighbors with Spain or have interest in the same regions. No, we don't have that, so go away. So the political lobby has been gone. We only have the one with Prussia now, and we want to keep that one because I think Russia will become an enemy. Okay, we almost have our first tick over here for our dedicated police force. Let's see what happens. And we are unlucky, we have the debate failing. So we are going down with 10%. Now we need to wait 100 days again, and then we get another tick. RIP. Are these timed, by the way? Maybe not. Maybe we have to change the law, but let's wait another tick here. This screen also gives you good information about your problems. As you can see, we have a fabric problem. Because we are having so much construction sectors. They all need cloth and we don't produce that. Is there something we can do about that? Well, you can click on the good. And they can hover over here and you can see we are having only 121 and we need 245. You don't need exactly the number. When we make 200, we will have enough to sustain 245. You don't need 245. 200 will be enough as well, but the price will just be higher. So it's not one-on-one. When we click right-click on the fabric, we can see what we can do about it. We can import cloth. We can expand the livestock ranges, but it only gives 5 fabric. That is not a lot. We can expand cotton plantations. But we have no states where we can make cotton plantations. We need to colonize for that. And these are consuming them. So I think we're going to import some cloth. Let's click on the import route. Then you go to the market screen, I think. And then to your trade. And here you can see everywhere we can import cloth from. For example, we could get 45 cloth from Russia right now. And we don't even need to use convoys because it goes over land. So let's do this. Click it away. And now this number, 131 over time, should go up in every week that we pass. Until there is an equilibrium with what Russia wants to give. See, now we have 146. And that is already enough to not get a goods shortage. It is more expensive, but everything works that needs cloth. It's just expensive. Okay, we have built our construction sector. We are not building anything right now. And now we need to start looking at what do we want to build in our countries. Now there are a couple of things we need to do. We want to get more infrastructure, which we need a steel mill for, and then a motor industries. As we saw over here, railways, we want a the railway building. We need coal and engines for it, and we get engines from the motor industries. But the motor industries need steel. So that is a industrial train that we need to set up. We can do that right now. But what we also can do is take a look at our construction sectors. And make sure that we have local production of the import goods, so that when these are going to build, they're going to be cheaper. Now, cloth we cannot do anything about. We are importing some cloth from Russia. The tools, maybe we can build more tools. Do we have a tool workshop in Svealand? No, we do not have a tooling workshop in Svealand. So let's get a tooling workshop over here. I'm gonna make 60 tools from 30 wood and 20 iron. We are having iron mines, we are having logging camps here. Let's make a tooling workshop in our capital, and then those tools are going to make the price of the construction sector cheaper, because this will have more local production. Let's put that one in. How long does it take to build a tooling workshop? That one takes 600 construction. It takes 24 weeks. So that takes a little bit longer. But the good news is that my construction sector is still hiring people. So I think this number will go to 25. Over time. I hope so, at least. Or they just can't do more. Let's take a look, actually. There's a limit how much you can put per. It's capped at 25 construction per week. We cannot build this quicker than 25 construction per week. So what we can do is put a second building at the same time, and that one is going to be built as well. Now, is there anything else for input price that we need to put down? How is our wood price? Is still very low, so that is no problem. Cloth we cannot do anything about, really. And we are making tooling work. So in Svealand, no, I don't think we can do anything there. But in Götaland, okay, in Götaland we make a huge amount of logs and we are only using a little bit. So that is already very cheap. Our iron price is already very cheap over here. But once again, we have no tooling workshop in Götaland. So the local price of tools that I need to pay are more expensive over here. So let's build a tooling workshop in Götaland so that the construction sectors are going to be cheaper for me. Let's go to Götaland. Go to the urban buildings. And let's build a tooling workshop. There we go. This one also needs wood and iron, and we have that in this state, so that is very helpful. And now you can see that two things are built at the same time. This one is capped at 25, because that is the cap. And this one gets the spare construction. So it goes very slowly. Now you see that we have a minus 7,000 per week, or minus 8,000 now. Because we are building from our own money. But once again, we are gonna get the investment pool soon, because they are privatizing one of our own buildings. How far are they? At 86%. So they're going to privatize the tooling workshop in Scania. Let's take a look at it, actually. So we have a tooling workshop in Scania. You can see that we are the owner, I think. No, we are not. What is happening? Are they privatizing? Am I crazy or not? No. Apparently they can privatize buildings that are owned by the local workforce. This is owned by the local workforce. Which is very funny, because then the dividends go to the shopkeepers. No one is owning this tooling workshop, only the local populace. I like that, actually. But they are going to privatize it. We can see it over here that the arms industry is owned by us. And when you hover over your bureaucracy, we can see how many buildings we own. We have 3 nationally owned buildings, costing us 3 bureaucracies. It costs a little bit of bureaucracy as well. And they can be privatized. People can buy that from us. Okay, I think we are gonna pause the recording here. Hopefully you are getting a little bit more of an idea how things work. And we will continue in the next episode, where we will try to make our construction cheaper by getting the input goods cheaper. And then we have to look for some more infrastructure with our technology. So I hope to see you in the next video, and bye bye.